a Playlyst original.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is Mitu.
And my name is BJ.
And this week, we're watching the listener-recommended Rooster on HBO.
So stay tuned to find out what department Mitu would join if she was forced to be a college professor.
Oof, okay.
In the meantime, can you tell us what happens on this college campus?
Yes, we have another Bill Lawrence joint. This show follows Greg Russo, played by Steve Carell, an author with a delicate relationship with his daughter, Katie, played by Charlie Clive, who agrees to begin as writer-in-residence at the school where she is a member of the faculty.
So, Mitu, we see a lot of pilot episodes of TV shows.
Yeah.
And I think we are always looking for that right balance of background information and getting into the meat of the story. Where do you think Rooster falls?
To me, I feel like this is really well balanced. I like that they dropped us right in. I don't think we needed to spend a lot of time with background. It was clear to understand. We learned that Greg Russo writes airport books. We meet him when he's talking to another faculty member for a presentation for students. He knows that he's not writing like War and Peace. That he is writing books that people enjoy reading on the beach.
They're fun.
I like that we immediately understand that his relationship with his daughter is, as the show described, delicate. But clearly, they're going to need each other. We see that displayed. It's a dialogue-heavy show, and so we're learning about these people as they're exchanging funny quips and having awkward moments back and forth.
I agree. I like the pacing where, as you said, we're dropped right in, and then they unpack more about Greg and his connection to this specific school, his daughter, his daughter's ongoing relationship situation, and it's not thrown to us all at once. We're able to have these funny, enjoyable moments while we learn about the connections between everyone.
And I saw some reviews about the fact that this is a Bill Lawrence show. Obviously, he's made some really major, funny comedy shows. And this is starring Steve Carell in probably his closest approximation back to Michael Scott of The Office.
I see some of that.
And I think people thought this would be, let's say, a sharper comedy, but I like that it's cozy. It feels like the town it's set in.
Yes, it's cozy. It's a tight cast, tight location, and it throws in those awkward, uncomfortable, funny moments that I think are reminiscent of like The Office, where Steve Carell excels. He can make it uncomfortable but fun to watch.
Every single time Russo interacted with Dylan, another professor played by Danielle Deadweiler, I both laughed and curled into a ball. There's a moment where the president of the school, played by John C. McGinley, basically makes them admit to each other that Dylan has not read any of Russo's books, but claimed that she had. Russo, to make her feel better, was like, I haven't read any of your stuff. And President Mann was like, no, you've actually read everything. He was like, sorry, I have. I've read all of your work. I just thought that was so funny. There's a part where, again, President Mann, I think, says something like most marriages between faculty members only last 1.5 years when they were talking about Katie's marriage issues. And Russo was like, that's probably not a true fact. And he was like, but the spirit of it is. And there were so many little exchanges like that that cracked me up.
And I will also say what I liked about Greg and Dylan's relationship is that we do have a lot of funny moments, but that one felt really cozy to me. I think they bond quickly and there's this genuine comfort that they have with each other that was fun to watch until it got unfun to watch. But then that was also kind of fun to watch.
When Russo and his daughter witness some stuff with her husband, and then he is mistaken for essentially kind of being a peeping Tom because he's helping his daughter spy, I laughed. And then, like you said, I was uncomfortable. I laughed again. I was uncomfortable. I think when you lean into an awkward moment for a little bit, it feels weird. And then when you go even longer, it becomes funny again. And I just kept doing that through this episode. That was just 30 minutes. Also, shout out to Katie's husband being Archie, played by Phil Dunster, another another Bill Lawrence muse.
Oh, I didn't know that about him.
He's great in Ted Lasso.
And I think his character plays in well. We don't learn as much about him directly, but we do see the state of his marriage with Katie, where there has been another woman brought into the picture.
Passive language, another woman brought into the picture. Very passive. She just tripped and fell into the frame.
He tripped and fell onto a student repeatedly. And Katie did not like that.
Yeah.
And Archie did not communicate well about his tripping behavior.
Shout out to Charlie Clive. She played Katie so well. She played a woman on the brink, but also trying to keep her job, keep doing what she does so well. She played that tension so well. When she says to Archie, I could so murder you, but my dad told me to be kind. Like, the line delivery on that was so funny. Or when she ends her class, sorry for all of these light spoilers. These are just little jokes, not big plot points. But she ends her class and she sees that her dad has walked into the room and she goes, hey, y'all, my dad really hates meeting new people. He has intimacy issues. So if you want extra credit, if you see him anywhere on campus, look him in the eye and tell him I love you. And there was such a good callback where students kept doing that to him.
They wanted that extra work.
I would have done it.
That poor man. Leave him alone.
It was so funny.
Katie does a great job, and I like seeing the strain between the Russo family. As you said, it's just half an hour, but I feel like we learned a lot about what's gone on between them in the past, even though literally it was just hints at the past. And we see where they are now and where they might be able to go now that he's the new writer in residence.
It feels very Bill Lawrence-y in that we have man after divorce or end of relationship in some way with strained relationship with child. We saw that in Ted Lasso, in Shrinking, and now with Rooster. I think that the show could go a ton of different ways. And I know you said before we started recording that you can't quite tell where the story is going. For me, I don't mind that because it feels very lived in already from the first episode. So I like the idea of it organically unfolding. Even the hijinks, like when Russo gets tricked into buying alcohol for a child, like that is so funny. It was such a silly scene, but it still felt so lived in this world.
And it works because his character specifically does not do well under pressure. We see that repeatedly. But yeah, I am still a little unclear if we're going to focus on his future. Are we going to focus on Katie's future? Are we going to have Dylan take more of a spotlight? She is higher on the billing than some other characters we've seen. I think those are the questions I'm left with after the pilot of I see a lot of different paths. And maybe it's all of them, maybe it's just a handful, but I don't know yet.
Fair. With that, do you want to watch more episodes of Rooster on HBO and HBO Max?
I would watch again casually.
Nice. That's big for you for a comedy.
This was funny. This was enjoyable, and it doesn't seem to be very plot driven. It's all about the relationships, and I do want to see those develop. How do you feel? And be honest.
I will be honest. I would watch again seriously. And I think what BJ is trying to hint at is, you know, I had a classic issue where I thought yesterday was the day that we record. It was, in fact, a day later.
Right.
So, yeah, I was left alone with this show, and I watched a couple more episodes of it.
1 +
3. So now that I'm on episode 4 and looking forward to watching episode 5 tonight with my dinner, I would say for anyone who likes a cozy comedy, who likes a Bill Lawrence joint, Cougar Town Hive, rise up right now. This is a very sweet, lived-in show. I think it's very funny, and I would watch again seriously. And I have.
Thank you for sharing. That is high praise. You heard it here first. Mitu is locked in.
Yes.
Now, let's say I locked you on a college campus and forced you to be a professor. What department would you choose?
And I'm good at anything.
I don't think your qualifications matter. I've pulled strings. This is nepotism in action.
Oh, okay. Love that. Then actually, I was going to say like something that I'm absolutely not expert in, like something in the math or science areas. But I feel like anytime I wanted to be very serious, where we went to college, I would study in the engineering library because it was so intense in there that it would make me intense. Okay. But I actually think that might be a strain on my energy from day to day.
Oh.
So maybe I'd also want to do one of these writing seminars and make the kids write, probably by hand.
No ChatGPT.
No AI. Y'all, I can tell when your emails are AI. Okay, people can tell.
All those M dashes. Do you really use those?
Moreover.
Excessive emojis. I saw a work email. So many emojis.
Relax on this. You can't make the AI more human sounding. It doesn't work. We can see it every time. But in any case, that is an aside. I would want to do a writing seminar. I like the idea of people writing and chatting. And I remember loving my writing seminar my first year of school. I know we both had to do them as a required class.
And I wrote about a TV show. I wrote about royal pains. My seminar subject, something medicine related.
Shout out to that. I genuinely don't remember what mine was. But I remember my professor was a Quaker and he encouraged us to refer to him by his first name.
Oh, I thought it was going to go religious.
No. Oh my gosh. More like he was just very relaxed and liberal.
It was like, and then we had sessions of complete silence until someone quaked.
No, he just put the liberal in liberal arts. That's all. All right. Where can people find more episodes of the Pilot Podcast?
All you have to do is head to our website at thepilotpodcast.com, and you can follow us on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on social media at The Pilot Pod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations, because every other week, just like this one, we do a show recommended by you, our wonderful listeners, to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.